Hello, Instagram. Hello, and good evening, all. This is Pamela Howard, and I am moving on Friday Night Live. Yes. How's everybody this Friday? I'm closing chapters, I'm turning pages, glory to glory. How many feel like moving on this Friday Night Live? Yes, I'm moving on. Yes. It hurts worse to stay. I'm moving on. I'm moving on. I'm moving on. Hey, 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 hey. Yes, it's Friday Night Live, and I'm your host, Pamela Howard, moving on with my life. Yes. I'll be moving on. I'm moving on. I'm moving on. Yes. Forget yourself for moving on. Hey, Tawana. I'm moving on, girl. Hey, 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 hey. I know my review can't compare to what God will do in my life. I am forgetting what's behind me. I have finally decided who's moving on. Yes. All right, all right. Yes, I'm moving on. Thank you for joining me this evening for Friday Night Live. I'm your host, Pamela Howard with Pamela Plans and Consulting. Also, your talk radio host with Even Chit Chat on iHeartRadio that is also broadcast on WDRB Media. And tonight, I just had to play that song. I love that song by Jonathan Reynolds. I am moving on. I'm forgetting what's behind me. I finally realized, and I'm forgiving myself, and I'm putting it behind. And I just wanted to start off my Friday Night Live with that song today. So, thank you for joining me tonight. So, I had a guest nonprofit that was going to be with us this evening, but unfortunately, they were a little unprepared, but that's okay because you can find a little bit more about them this month. They actually are going to be promoted on my talk radio show, Even Chit Chat, that airs every Sunday at 9:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So let me see this because I see a few comments. If you see me looking this way or you see me looking this way, that's because on this camera, I am talking to those that are on Instagram, and on this camera, I am on YouTube Live as well as Facebook Live. And so I have 3 different audiences tonight. Now, I want to share with you, well, let's talk about this. So I hope everyone is doing well. I hope everyone is staying safe. I'm just going to say this. I welcome your comments. I'm not going to elaborate on it because, I'm not really big on politics. But how about the President of the United States has COVID-19? The president who has sent mixed communications about whether or not the mask was a necessity, how much he didn't really care about wearing the mask, and I also had threw in some misinformation about the COVID-19, even like not even being at severity. I don't even know how he could even put his lips to say that when thousands of people around this country have died from it. But anyway, talking about a little bit of Friday Night Live. So for the state of North Carolina, looks like we're in phase 3. Bars are opening up at a 30% capacity, as well as movie theaters. The thing about the bars, though, or restaurants that serve alcohol, those that do not have the capacity to be able to serve people with an outdoor eating space, they're still under those restrictions. So that's just a little bit of update on what's going on in the event world. I've been talking a lot about layers of life. I've been talking about layers in business, and I've also been talking about being accountable in business. It is very important that you have an action buddy and be accountable for the things that you want to do so that you can have consistency. That's the ultimate goal, is to be consistent. You want your revenue to be consistent. You want your business to be consistent. You want your clients to be consistent. Consistency is the ultimate goal, no matter what your dream or goal is. And therefore, in order to get consistency, you have to be accountable. You have to be committed. You have to have clarity. You have to have commitment, and you have to be focused. So, with all of that being said, all of that put together gives consistency. So, I don't know how long I'm going to be on here tonight. Um, I'm a little bit winging it, if you would say, because I didn't get notice about my nonprofit not being here until probably 3 hours ago. But anyway, I am here tonight. I would love to see your comments, your questions, anything that you would like to discuss. This is Friday Night Live. I'm Pamela Howard, and I'm probably going to be signing off in the next 5 or 10 minutes, just because I value my time, I value your time, and I really, really love to be productive. So, let's see what else I can talk about tonight. So, I am actually so excited because I am going to be hosting a workshop on October the 23rd. I'll be hosting 2 different workshops, one at 10 a.m., the other one is going to be at 4 p.m. These are Eastern Standard Time hours. It's all about learning how to be accountable. It's going to be a great workshop talking about, you know, having happiness during your journey when you're working towards your dreams and goals, making progress and improvement, and we're doing it bit by bit, day by day. You're going to learn how your progress is going to become your pursuit, and your journey is going to be, become the focus of everything. There's power in clarity. There really is. There's power in clarity. And when you vocally begin to start committing your goals and your dreams out loud, and especially with another person, talking about it, talking about your problems and talking about your challenges as well as your goals, it makes your mind to start, it makes your mind kind of like talk out, and you start thinking and believing, that you're going to actually get this accomplished. The more you do this, the more clarity you're going to have, the more you're going to be able to achieve. And it's all working towards that ultimate goal of being consistent and having consistency. So, I will share some information later on my Instagram, on YouTube, as well as on Facebook. I will be sharing information on how you can learn more about winning big. Surely you want to win big. I'm winning big. I want you to win big. I put all that unnecessary stuff behind me, and I'm moving on. So anyway, it's been, let's see, we've been on here almost 10 minutes, and it's a very quiet evening. I guess people are out at the bars that have finally opened. Maybe they at the movies. Tawana, I want to thank you. Tawana's on Instagram. Thank you so much for joining me tonight, girlie. You've been kind of quiet, so, but thank you for joining me this evening. I will talk a little bit about this platform. So Friday Night Live eventually started out as Event Chit Chat. And Event Chit Chat was all about me talking about the events of life, things that were going on in events. And it also gave me an opportunity to support nonprofit organizations. I would host a segment for 15 minutes to invite a nonprofit, bring them on live with me so you could see, talk with them, ask questions. They would talk about who they are, about their nonprofit, the people that they serve, and then they would share how others could get involved and others could support them and grow. When the pandemic really hit hard in February, it actually started last year back in 2019. And this is something because I think around the time that the coronavirus was hitting, um, the late Kobe Bryant had passed away in the helicopter accident. And that was the biggest headline in the paper, and that's where the focus was in the world, and that's all the news that you had because this was like a legend, an icon, and so that was just the talk. But it's something, a journalist went back and saw in very, very, very fine print about this pandemic and how it was killing the people that was overseas, like in China and in London and things of that nature. And it really started way back then. But unfortunately, we got a hold to it late. And by the time it really took precedent, it had really consumed almost our country. And then, of course, whatever state you're in, I know in North Carolina, it got hit pretty hard. But anyway, I shared that to say that during that time, a lot of people, including nonprofits, were hurting really bad. And as an event planner and as a business coach, we're troubleshooters and we make it all better. We keep the behind the scenes, and we want to present well up front. And so a few of my community partners and clients were reaching out with like what we're going to do. But those of you that don't know much about nonprofit organizations, they pretty much survive and drive off of donations, fundraisers. That's how they generate their income, through donation sponsors and fundraisers. Most of the time, these nonprofit organizations, unless they are very huge and in multiple states, they have a very small committee. There is no one that's getting paid, and everyone is typically volunteering. There are some paid people in nonprofit organizations, but it is not common. So they really derive off these donations. And if not all of them, most of them have a minimum of one, sometimes two, large galas to help them carry over to the next year so that they can actually function as a 501c and continue to support the people that depend on them and serve. And so when they weren't able to have these events and people were like crunching down on their donations, the sponsors were not doing anything because, pretty much our country was at one point at a standstill. And so they didn't know what to do, how they was going to survive. And I just got really creative and had some ingenuity. And I came up with Event Chit Chat, which was a live IG. And I would invite these nonprofit organizations to come and talk. And I would put a link that was directed to them so that they could donate. So this is how I said all this to say, I'm getting a little bit of long-winded. I don't want to sound like I'm like talk vomiting, if that's such a thing. Excuse me. But I created that platform really to support them and give them another platform to be able to share and for people to reach out. And what I learned in doing that deed is that people were still giving and people were still spending. It was just, it had to be cause worthy. And so that gave hope, it gave encouragement. And, people started getting creative with how they could still continue to keep their businesses and their nonprofit organizations thriving. And so with that, that was only a 15-minute segment. And with the remainder of the audience and the time, I would just talk about different events. Any type of event. It has to be a social or corporate event. It's life events, just things that I could share, give tips, strategies, just to keep everything kind of moving. And so that was how this platform was created. In addition to that, there is good that come out of bad, believe it or not, because then I was approached with an opportunity to have my own talk radio show, which actually airs on iHeartRadio, which is a national broadcast radio station that is actually can be listened to and heard through your smart devices, on your smart TV, tablets, phones, and even in your car through Bluetooth, or you can actually connect that way through iHeartRadio. Even Alexa can play iHeartRadio. You just tell Alexa, play iHeartRadio, WDIB Media, which is a broadcasting station through iHeartRadio, and it plays. And so I've had my talk radio show because of my IG Live and my willing heart to give and support. I've had it for 6 months, 6.5 months now. I've already had a celebrity on my talk radio show, and since my talk radio show has been airing for 6 months, I changed the IG event chit chat to Friday Night Live because I always host this IGTV on Friday Night Live, and I didn't want to confuse my audience with two event chit chat platforms. So I let the radio show take over and be event chit chat, and now my IG is Friday Night Live. So that is the story of how this platform was born. And so if you're interested, if you're here and you're listening, or you know someone that's interested in being a co-host with me, or if they would like to have an exclusive interview with me, all they have to do is just contact me. You can send me a DM or instant message wherever you're listening to this live, and just message me. I will have my assistant contact you and get you all set up so that you can either be the co-host, or if you want an exclusive interview. It's just another platform that I have, and I am trying to support small business owners, professionals, and entrepreneurs who are up and coming, and those that are just looking to engage a broader audience through radio broadcast. Okay, and also again supporting nonprofit organizations. I will give a huge, huge shout out to one of my favorite coffee houses, which is Undercurrent Coffee. They are the sponsors of Event Chit Chat for the month of October, and they also are sponsoring a great nonprofit called Our Bridge for Kids. You'll hear more about that. You just have to tune in on iHeartRadio to learn more. I hope to have the nonprofit on one of my Friday Night Live so that they can talk a little bit. You will be able to hear an exclusive interview. So a big shout out to the nonprofit Our Bridge, and also to Undercurrent Coffee as well. So grateful for. I just want to give a shout out also to WDRB Media. For those of you that don't know much about that radio broadcast that's aired through iHeartRadio, WDRB Media is an African American owned broadcasting station that supports small businesses. That's their target market: entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, and small businesses, giving them an outlet to have a voice. There are so many other well-known radio stations like Infinity and Kiss 102 and Cat 107. There's so many, and they air on national broadcasts, all over the country, in different and there's different broadcasters for them. And a lot of times it's either very expensive, or I should say, not as economical to be able to just have an outlet, have a voice about your business or how you serve the community or what you have to offer. And WDRB Media gives us that outlet, me and others, small business owners, the outlet to be able to have a platform to do that. And then, where you lift yourself up, we're able to lift up others to be able to, learn that they can do this. Some people like to use podcasts, which is perfectly fine. To be able to use a podcast is not a broadcast. So this is a much larger platform, and I'm grateful to them having a vision for small business owners and entrepreneurs, and giving me this platform. It has done nothing but been supportive. The radio station has been very supportive of me and my business. I have a whole production team. I feel like I'm just on top of the world. That's why I'm just moving on. I love that song. But anyway, they have been very supportive of my business. I have increased my revenue because of this broad station. And I'm very grateful to my success coaches. I have so many coaches. I have a production coach, a success coach that helps me with my production. I have someone that, coaches me with my business, and I am so grateful, so very grateful for that. So kudos to WDIP Media. Give a shout out to Kim McDuffie, who is my coach, as well. She's done nothing but been great for me. So this has been a great 20 minutes. I have enjoyed talking and sharing. Those that may be catching this on the replay, make sure that you're following me on Instagram, on Facebook, Twitter, and also make sure you like my YouTube channel, which is Pamela Howard. And or you can also find me at P Howard Plans on all my social media sites. Make sure you follow me, liking me. I would love a great review. Make sure you support the nonprofit organizations as well. And again, if you or you know someone that is looking to grow their business and want to do it through the power of events and through radio broadcast, make sure you give them my contact information. Let them know Pamela Howard is looking for you. And I want you to be moving on and living your best life now. It's time to quit procrastinating. It's time to be what you want to be, accomplish what you want, and go after and actually execute those dreams and those goals. So, without further ado, I'm going to finish playing my song, and I am going to be moving on here with Friday Night Live. Okay? Yes. I'll be moving on. I'm moving on. I'm moving on. Yeah. I'm moving on. Bye, y'all. Have a good night.